What's up, everybody? Dog 1985. Yo, there's levels to this. All right, so check this out, right? We all heard the news by now. Microsoft went ahead and they bought Bethesda. I made a quick video reacting to it. Now we're gonna just have the conversation, I guess. What does this mean? How does this really affect the gaming world? In my opinion, of course. The notion that Microsoft has no games can't be used anymore. It just can't. It just can't. You may not like the games that they have, and that's perfectly fine. That's your prerogative. But to say they have no games, yeah, you can't say that. They have games, okay? Again, you may not like their games. Sony may have better games. We could argue that. No, I actually can't argue that. Sony definitely has better games when it comes to exclusives. Like, there is no equivalent God of War. There is no equivalent Last of Us on Microsoft side, okay? With that being said, though, this acquisition definitely gives Microsoft more games or access to more games, and I'll explain that here in a minute. To me, this doesn't hurt Sony. Now, listen to me. To me, this doesn't hurt Sony because I don't feel like this was Sony's angle, anyways. What I think it does is it widens the gap as far as the value of Game Pass versus the value of $70 games. Sony, look here. I don't care what you do, but a $70 game needs to be amazing. It just has to. It needs to be amazing. Because 5 or 6 $70 games that aren't amazing would be equivalent to you buying yourself an Xbox Series S and having Game Pass subscription. That's a problem. That's a problem. So $70 games, Sony need to be worth it. Now, Microsoft might come out and have $70 games as well. They could. Let's say you're somebody, I don't know why, that would get an Xbox and not get Game Pass. You might have to pay $70 for games as well. You might have to. I don't know. But if you have Game Pass and these games are going to come out for Game Pass, oh, man, that's tough. There's enough game on Game Pass that if a brand new game comes out, you can wait for that price to drop, play the games that you have on Game Pass, or wait for it to get put on Game Pass, or wait for the price to drop, and then play it. And if there's a game that really comes out that's really compelling you to pay $70 for it, then you go ahead and do that. But I don't know, man. Widens the gap. That's all I feel. I think Sony needs to come with games, though. Because the value right now of Game Pass is ridiculous. Microsoft really didn't even need to make an Xbox Series X. No, they needed to. See, that's the other thing, man. They are right now. Microsoft is catering to everybody, everything, whatever type of gamer you are. If you're a budget gamer and you don't want to spend a lot of money, get the Series S. I wouldn't recommend it, but get the Series S, right? You're gonna be able to play next generation games. They're telling you you're gonna be able to play next generation games. And now that they got Bethesda, that means that Bethesda has to make games that are gonna be playable on the Xbox Series S as well. Whether I like that or not, because I think that 12 teraflops is definitely more than 4 teraflops. So I don't know what type of pimp game you're gonna spit at me, telling me that the power is not gonna matter and that that's not gonna hinder. Whatever, man. I don't know any technical knowledge like that. But if you tell me it's not gonna hinder it, it doesn't matter, because all the games that are gonna come out on on Game Pass, have to be able to play on the Xbox Series S. They have to. That makes Could you imagine if in the future there's a game that says on Game Pass that says only playable on the Xbox Series X? Oh man, don't do that, Microsoft. You better support this Xbox Series S to the end. You're gonna come out with a $300 system that's less powerful. You you better do it. This was your gimmick. Question that I keep getting asked multiple times over is if you have a PC, is there a reason to get an Xbox Series X? In my situation, I'm gonna get an Xbox Series X. I do have a PC. However, my PC only has a 1660 Ti. I know that the Xbox Series X is going to be stronger than my PC. So I want to be able to play the games at the best fidelity possible that I could afford. And I could afford an Xbox Series X for $500 all day, every day. Now, the best experience possible is probably going to be if you go ahead and build a PC and get yourself a 3090. That's going to be the best experience possible. But that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. I mean, I would even argue, I don't even think it'd be an argument, that the 3070 at $500 is going to be probably way more powerful than the Xbox Series X. Right? The GTX 3070 or the RTX 3070, my bad, will probably be more powerful. However, you're just talking about one graphics card, $500. You still got to, yeah, my bad, my son's yelling. You still got to freaking pay for the rest of the components to build that PC, right? So why would I get an Xbox Series X? Because I want to play every single game on Game Pass, the best possible settings. And I could do that for $500. So I got Sony PS5 for $500 with some games. I got Xbox Series X for $500 at launch with a lot of games. A lot of games. I don't know, man. That's tough. That's tough, man. I keep looking at my phone because there's a few things that I wrote down that I wanted to make sure I talk about. I usually just spit these off the top of my head, but I just want to make sure I don't forget. So the value's too much. I already said that. Okay, here's another one. Sony. I don't think this SSD is enough. If it is, you haven't showed it. Sony, you need to show why the PS5 SSD is enough. I don't care what developers are saying at this point. You need to show it. The system's coming out in what, 2 months? You need to show why. Microsoft doesn't even have to show any gameplay of any game at this point. They're literally selling these systems based on Game Pass. And it is a valuable service. And if they keep acquiring stuff, which it looks, they're getting ruthless, man. This is a ruthless move. Here's something else I want to clear up too. Just because Microsoft bought Bethesda does not mean that these games are not going to come out on the PS5. It doesn't. If Microsoft is smart, why not make money off all systems? It looks like that's what they want to do. So why not? The difference is they could be petty enough to be like, okay, you want to buy it on the PS5? $70. You get it on Game Pass, any Bethesda game, as soon as it launches, you got it. Think about that, the bind that puts you in. If you're a PS5 owner and the next Doom comes out or whatever, and you really want to get it, and you got to drop $70, and your boy that has Game Pass just gets it day one because he's got Game Pass and he's with Microsoft, I don't care what you say, you're going to feel salty. You're going to feel salty. I'm going to tell you right now. Correct me if I'm wrong, okay? There's only one type of gamer that only plays PS5 exclusives, meaning they do not get any cross-platform games for the PS5. They only get the exclusive for PS5. You know what gamers those are? Those are PC gamers. Because a PC gamer is going to get the game for the PC if it can play on PC. They got their PS5 or their PS4 just for the exclusives. Okay? So, if a Sony PS5 exclusive comes out and they're selling it for $70, there's nothing you can do. If you want to play that game, you're going to have to pay $70. However, if Microsoft is petty enough to be like, All right, Bethesda, you go ahead. You could drop your game on the PS5, but if you're gonna drop it on the PS5, you gotta sell it for 70 because we gotta get our cut. We own you, right? But on Game Pass, the game is free. Oh my God, or even 50% off, whatever they're gonna try to do. Again, the value is too much, man. I think the value is too much, man. I don't I don't understand. Oh, but again, the SSD. Sony, you better ride this SSD hard and show us what this thing does. You need to show us what this SSD does quickly. Quickly. That's the only thing that's selling the PS5 right now is the SSD. And what, Ratchet and Clank? Ratchet and Clank, Demon Souls. What else? And Demon Souls is probably going to come out for PC anyways. We're not going to see Ratchet and Clank on Game Pass. Guarantee that. You might see Demon Souls on Game Pass. I don't know. Better hope not. Okay. SSD, Sony, you gotta show us this. What does this mean for Nintendo? It means nothing to Nintendo. Nintendo doesn't care. Nintendo, that's so crazy. Nintendo saw the writing on the wall with the PS4 and the freaking Xbox One. They saw the power struggle, and Nintendo was like, you know what? We don't want none of that. We're gonna stay in our own little niche. And it freaking worked. What they did freaking worked. So this to Nintendo really means nothing because unless freaking Microsoft is gonna buy Nintendo and you're gonna see Mario on Game Pass, Nintendo ain't tripping. Nintendo's not tripping at all. They know what they got. And then here's another topic, something else I want to talk about. A lot of people are celebrating this because I don't think anybody wants to see Sony fail. I don't want to see Sony fail at all. I think the problem was the Sony fans were so strong about destroying Xbox that now that Xbox is pretty much saying like everything you guys are talking trash about us, here you go. It almost gives Xbox fans almost like a now what Sony? Now what Sony? Right? Now what Sony? Right? Nobody wants to see Sony fail though. And overall, I believe no one wants to see gaming fail. But what this does is, what Game Pass is doing is, could be viewed as a bad thing. And listen to me. If you think that Sony and Nintendo are not looking at what Microsoft is doing as far as Game Pass and maybe trying to figure out their own way of having a subscription based gaming service, you're absolutely wrong. And if gaming becomes that, where every single thing we do, or every single time we play a game, it's on a subscription based platform, then it becomes something similar to like Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime, where every single month you're giving these companies money and you rarely ever, like, I don't know about you, but I don't remember the last time I bought a DVD or a Blu-ray movie. I don't remember. I have Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon. If I don't find something to watch on either one of those three, I'm not dropping $10 or $12 on an actual physical copy of a movie that I'm only going to watch once or twice or whatever. It makes no sense to me. I'll find something to watch. So, the reason that might not be good is because Netflix can price their stuff at whatever they want, right? Hulu can price their stuff at whatever they want, so can Amazon, right? Now, they have to be competitive with each other, and obviously, depending on what movies they have, what series they have, you might go with one or the other. But at the end, I'm just looking at a company like Nintendo. Could you imagine how much a subscription-based Nintendo Game Pass thing would cost? Oh my God. It'd be like $50 a month. You know how Nintendo is. They don't play around. So, is it good? Is it bad? I don't really know. We'll have to wait and see. I think they're forcing the gaming industry to change. And the other thing I don't like about it, probably like the last point I'm going to make before I end this video, I am not a fan of digital consoles. I am not. Digital on PC, I said, is fine because there's multiple places where you can get games and you can still get them really cheap, right? But on console, a digital version, so the PS5 digital, you're only going to be able to get games from the PS5 store, right? From PlayStation Store. On the Xbox, you're only going to be able to get games from the Xbox Store. I have a problem with that because they're controlling that price right there. When on PC, I might be able to get the game cheaper because I can go different places. People got to fight for that, right? Okay. Here's the thing with Game Pass. What it's doing slowly. I'm going to get an Xbox Series X, and one of the reasons I'm getting it is because I want to be able to buy physical copies of games. However, now that I'm thinking about it, if I have Game Pass and I'm paying, what is it, $15 a month for games literally digitally, and I could just download a game, play it. When I beat it, I'm sure there's going to be another game that I could play, beat. By the time I beat all the games that I want to beat, there'll be new games on there, right? When am I actually going to go and physically buy a copy of a game? Genius. They are literally going to take someone that hates digital consoles and make him use their console exclusively digitally. I'm a budget gamer as it is. I don't pay over $20 for a game. So if I'm dropping $15 a month and I have over 100 games that I could play, to me it makes no sense to go out and buy a game. I don't buy games when they come out anyways. So I'm about to have a disk drive that I'm never going to use. Genius. Bethesda's out here making power moves, guys. Bethesda. Xbox out here making power moves, guys. Sony, just from the outside looking in, it doesn't look good. We have faith. I gotta give Sony faith. I saw what they did with the PS4. Come on, man. Man, Sony's been dropping good games since the PS3, the PS2. Sony can make games. Sony, is the value enough though? That's the question. Microsoft is pushing this. You're pushing this to the extreme. So we'll see. And who knows? They might keep acquiring some more studios. And then what? Sony will win. Listen to me. Sony will win the console war. The physical console war, I believe they'll win it. I believe they'll sell more PS5s. Microsoft, right now, will win the gaming war. They will. There's one thing that Sony can do right now that will destroy the Xbox. You guys ready for this? If Sony somehow allows Microsoft to put Game Pass on the PS5, there is no reason at all now to get any Xbox. Period. You're welcome, Sony. Lower your pride, figure it out with Microsoft, allow Game Pass on your PS5. I guarantee there would be no reason to buy an Xbox at that. If you buy an Xbox with Sony allowing Game Pass to run on PS5, what are you doing? That's the ultimate. Get a PS5 and have it running Game Pass as well. Sony wins, Microsoft wins. Everybody's still alive. Then Nintendo got to scramble. Dog 195. There's levels to this. We out. Peace.